Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into how AI is shaking things up in the business world.
Yeah, we've got this really interesting article from The Innovator called How AI is Disrupting Business.
Right. And to add to that, we'll be bringing in some insights from an interview we did with a startup founder.
Someone who's right there on the front lines of this whole AI revolution.
Exactly. So to kick things off, this article goes all in, calling AI the next industrial revolution.
Which you hear a lot, but
I know, right? But they actually back it up.
yeah, with some pretty wild stats.
Like Accenture's predicting that AI could double annual economic growth rates by 2035.
In developed economies.
Right. And get this, Bank of America Merrill Lynch.
They're saying $33 trillion
Yeah, $33 trillion
every year
from AI-driven creative disruption.
within the next decade.
It's mind-blowing. But the key takeaway, I think, is that AI isn't just about efficiency.
It's about totally reshaping industries.
Like it's creating entirely new possibilities.
Things we couldn't even imagine before.
It's like the original Industrial Revolution, but on a whole other level.
Exactly. It wasn't just machines doing things faster.
Right. It was a total transformation of like
Society, the economy.
everything.
And just like back then, AI is going to disrupt things,
Big time.
but it's also going to create huge opportunities.
Definitely. And we're already seeing the big players making moves.
Like Google and Baidu pouring billions into AI research.
Yeah. And it's not just them. Venture capitalists are getting in on the action too.
Investing heavily in AI startups.
The article said it's all about getting access to data.
Which makes sense. Data is the fuel that powers AI.
It's like the new gold or something.
Exactly. And the article had this great example about ArcelorMittal.
The steel company.
Yeah, the world's largest. They're using AI to spot defects in their steel.
Wow.
With 93% accuracy.
Really?
Apparently humans could never get close to that.
So AI is doing things that we simply can't.
In some cases, yeah. It's not always about replacing jobs.
Right. Sometimes it's about augmenting our abilities.
And it's not just steel. This is happening across industries.
The article mentioned healthcare, transportation, finance, manufacturing.
Agriculture, retail, oil and gas. Even lingerie shopping.
Seriously? Lingerie?
Yeah, apparently AI can help you find the perfect bra.
Well, that's something, I guess.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
So AI is impacting pretty much every aspect of business.
And that's where the insights from our startup founder come in.
Right. They're dealing with all of this firsthand.
Building a business in this rapidly changing landscape.
Facing the challenges and seizing the opportunities.
Their perspective is so valuable.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've established that AI is a big deal. But
I think there's a catch.
the article calls it the data dilemma.
It's this weird paradox. Companies have spent tons of money on big data
But a lot of them are struggling to actually use it.
to get any real value out of it.
Right. They have all this data, but they don't know what to do with it.
It's like having a million puzzle pieces but no picture to guide you.
Exactly.
The article highlights a few reasons for this.
Like what?
Well, one is that a lot of companies have data siloed in different departments.
So it's hard to see the big picture.
Right. And then there's the fact that a lot of companies haven't fully digitized their operations.
So there are gaps in the data they're collecting?
Exactly. And even if you have all the data in the world
I need the right tools to analyze it.
and the expertise to make sense of it all,
Otherwise, it's just noise.
and that's where AI can actually become a problem.
How so?
Well, if you feed AI bad data,
Or incomplete data,
it's going to spit out bad results.
which can lead to some pretty expensive mistakes.
Exactly. So it's not just about having the technology
It's about using it responsibly.
and effectively.
Which brings us to another crucial aspect of AI.
The human factor.
The article really emphasizes this.
It's not just about the tech. It's about people,
about adapting our workforces,
our organizational structure,
even our company culture.
to thrive in an AI-driven world.
And that's going to require a whole new way of thinking for a lot of leaders.
They need to let go of those old command and control approaches.
Embrace more collaborative and agile ways of working.
It's about empowering teams to experiment, learn, and adapt quickly.
Our startup founder talked a lot about this.
About the importance of building a team that's comfortable with uncertainty.
A team that's not afraid to challenge assumptions.
And embrace new ideas.
And constantly be
And because in an AI-driven world, the ability to adapt is everything.
And that's something we'll be exploring in more detail in the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned because we're going to get into the specific skills, values, and leadership styles.
That will be essential for success in this new era of AI. So before the break, we were talking about how important the human element is in this whole AI thing.
Yeah, the article really hammered that home.
Like leaders needing to shift away from those old school top-down management styles.
Right. It's all about being more agile and collaborative if you want to actually thrive in an AI-driven world.
So like giving teams the freedom to experiment and learn quickly.
Exactly. It's about fostering a culture of innovation.
And continuous learning.
Yeah, within the whole organization.
Which is interesting because our startup founder said almost the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were saying how vital it is to have a team that's not afraid to like challenge the status quo.
Be open to new ideas.
And just constantly be adapting.
Which I imagine is tough for some of those big companies.
Oh, totally. Those that are so used to doing things a certain way.
Right. Breaking free from those old patterns can be a real struggle.
It's almost like they have to unlearn those old habits.
And rewire their brains for this new way of thinking.
Embrace a whole new mindset.
You got it. It's about being comfortable with uncertainty, experimenting with new approaches.
And maybe even being okay with failing sometimes.
As long as you're learning and adapting along the way.
Speaking of learning, the article also touched on how AI is impacting the workforce itself.
Like which jobs are going to be replaced.
Well, it's not just about replacement. It's more about a shift in the skills that are going to be in demand.
So what kind of skills are we talking about?
The article highlights things like creativity, critical thinking, problem-solving, emotional intelligence.
All those uniquely human
The
skills.
stuff that AI can't replicate.
Exactly.
A startup founder actually called it being human savvy.
I like that.
It's about nurturing those qualities that set us apart from machines.
Which are only going to become more valuable as AI takes over those routine tasks.
Right. So it frees us up to focus on higher level thinking strategy, building relationships.
AI handling the data crunching and repetitive stuff.
So we can focus on things that require human ingenuity, empathy.
The personal touch.
It's like AI becomes this powerful tool that amplifies our human capabilities.
Instead of replacing them entirely.
Which brings us to another really important aspect of all this.
The ethics of AI.
Right. As AI gets more powerful and more widespread,
We need to be really thoughtful about how it's developed and used.
making sure it's used responsibly and ethically.
For the benefit of everyone.
It's a big responsibility.
Huge. And it's something we need to consider very carefully. Now, in the final part of our deep dive,
We're going to shift gears a bit.
and explore what all this means for you, the listener.
What can you do to prepare for this AI-powered future?
What skills do you need to develop?
Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up our AI deep dive.
And we're going to get down to brass tacks.
Right, like we've talked about the big picture impact, but how do we prepare for this AI-powered future?
What can you, our listener, do to get ready?
Because AI isn't some sci-fi thing anymore,
It's already here.
and it's changing the world crazy fast.
But the good news is you don't have to become a coder or anything.
You don't have to build a robot in your garage.
Right. But you do need to be proactive.
Be adaptable.
Remember those human skills we were talking about?
Like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
Those are your superpowers.
The things that make you uniquely human.
And they're only going to become more valuable as AI takes over those routine jobs.
So how do we sharpen those skills?
Yeah. Well, one thing is to never stop learning.
Like lifelong learning.
Exactly. And I don't just mean going back to school.
It's about being curious,
Exploring new ideas.
staying ahead of the curve.
Read books. Listen to podcasts.
Take online courses, go to conferences.
There are so many ways to keep learning these days.
And don't be afraid to try new things.
Even if you mess up sometimes.
That's how you learn and grow.
Exactly. This is especially important for anyone whose job could be disrupted by AI.
Like, think about how you can use AI tools to your advantage.
Instead of seeing them as a threat.
AI can be incredibly powerful.
If you know how to use it.
Our startup founder had some really practical advice about this.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
They said networking is key.
Building relationships with people in the AI field.
Go to conferences, join online communities.
Connect with experts on LinkedIn.
You never know who you might meet.
And don't underestimate the power of mentorship.
Find someone who's already killing it in the AI world.
And learn from them.
It's all about being proactive.
Surrounding yourself with people who can help you grow.
So to sum up our deep dive today,
The future is being shaped by AI.
and it's already here,
But that's not a bad thing.
it's an opportunity
To evolve
to create something amazing
by embracing lifelong learning
by developing those uniquely human skills.
and by being open to new possibilities.
We can not only survive in this AI-powered world,
We can thrive.
and who knows?
Maybe we can even make the future better than we ever imagined.
That's a great thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI.
It's been fun.
We'll see you next time.